Africa, once the land of fortune, the land of future, the land of fate, has been faded in the history, not only by the colonizers, but also the land sons and land daughters of Africa. The leaders of Africa has allowed Africa to be succumbed underneath the ocean bed, underneath the seabed, underneath the minerals which has been spoiled by the colonizers. Today, I'll be talking about the future of Africa. I'm not the only person to talk about the future of Africa, and I'm not a preacher who can offer a solution, but I am a journalist, a researcher, an African enthusiast who can talk about the future of Africa as an outsider, as I'm looking forward and following the development of Africa for the last couple of decades as a student of international relations, and also was studying African literature as a student of English literature. And as I engaged with many African colleagues in the development and humanitarian sector, and also when I was a teacher, I engaged with many African teachers. How Africa has been looted. If I refer from the bright African sons like Professor Lumumba, like Nelson Mandela, Robert Mugabe, I can easily say that, or you can easily say that, one can easily relate that Africa has been looted by the colonizers, the British colonizers, the Portuguese colonizers, the French colonizers, the Spaniards, the Dutch, the British, the American. Not only in the name of colony, not only in the name of external territories, not only in the name of uh, Bri- uh, British or Dutch or French or Spanish territories, or their colonies, but also in present days in the name of NGOs, in the name of development agencies. These are the research findings by different researchers and also the political leaders who are really enthusiastic to see that NGOs, especially the US aid, is leaving Africa as they are the new colonial extension of the past colonizers. But are the colonizers only looters of Africa? What about the African leaders? The leaders who are sitting on the throne of African power for decades and allowing the external colonizers, the external superpowers to get in the soil of Africa and loot the minerals. The surface minerals means the assets and properties and money from Africa. What about them? How should Africa react to this? I'll not point out to any specific leaders, but it's true that Africa has also been colonized by African dictators, African leaders who believe that they're born to be the president for lifetime. They are the only person who has by born eligibility, perpetual eligibility to be the president for lifetime. And only they are the person who has been sainted, who has been sent from the heaven, and they have been sainted to rule Africa for a perpetual period of time. Aren't they also the looters. So, what is Africa's future? Africa's future is in the hands of African people. Africa is the only continent which doesn't lack any natural resource, human resource, history, trend, tradition, culture, literature, music, forestry, minerals. Africa is a bountiful continent but has been led to poverty by the external colonizers and the perpetual internal colonizers, the African leaders. Secondly, Africa's future is to quit the colonizing mindset, taking back the culture, the language, the tradition, the religion, the belief of African own culture, own religion, own belief system, own political culture. The ownership of Africa should go to the African, and African should claim the ownership of Africa. That is very important. Thirdly, African leaders should bring democratic changes in the table. The table should be served with the fruit of democracy, with the fruit of participation, with the fruit of inclusion, with the vegetable of sovereignty and territorial integrity, and with the sausage of freedom, liberty, independence, and voting rights. If African people are served with democracy, with participation, with sovereignty, with territorial integrity, they will show the world that Africa is the continent of diamonds, not in terms of materially, but in terms of psychologically, philosophically, and spiritually. Africa needs to take control of their resources, their fate, and their future. And that is the only future of Africa.